What's going on, beautiful people? It's Joe, aka the Nomad Investor, where dividends freedom anywhere is the goal. And today we are back with a portfolio update as well as some news and announcements as usual. So without further ado, let's dive right in. We are currently sitting at 1,083 subscribers. So shout out to everyone who has been supporting the channel. And we are at 46 videos. I'm currently filming the 47th video, which is also the 45th portfolio update. Now, if you guys are new here and haven't already, make sure to smash that subscribe button. It helps keep me motivated to continue making videos like these, as well as documenting my journey. And most importantly for everyone else, make sure to smash that like button. It helps with the YouTube algorithm and for further growing this channel. As always, the videos on this channel are for informational, entertainment, and educational purposes only. I am not a financial professional or advisor, and nothing here should be taken as financial, investment, or tax advice. Investing always carries risk, and those seeking financial advice should seek out a registered professional. Now, if you are not new here, you guys can skip over this unless you need a refresher. But for those who are new, this is my game plan and goal for growing my small portfolio from $0 to $1,000 per month in dividend income. So currently I have two sources of income. I have remote work income, pretty stable, pretty consistent, and business income, which does fluctuate up and down depending on the seasonality of things. But I have committed to contributing anywhere from $300 all the way up to $1,000 plus per month into my Robinhood taxable brokerage. And I'm treating this brokerage like a business with the goal of aiming for 30% plus high yield. Now, the way that I aim to achieve that is through primarily investing into high yield income ETFs, such as but not limited to KQQQ, QDTE, BLOX, HOW, Chippy, and so many more that I can't even count. And I am going to be implementing a core satellite investing strategy. So I'll basically be alternating between core anchors and satellite ETFs. If you guys want to learn a little bit more about this, I highly recommend you either do one of two things. Number one, do your own research, which you should do anyways. And you can also check out Eugen Vasquez's channel. He has a great video where he breaks this down effortlessly. But primarily, I will be focusing on income and stability for this portfolio as of right now. Things can always change and be adjusted as needed, but that is the primary focus and function. After a lot of time of reflecting when I previously started this portfolio, this is what I've come down to: income first, stability second. So cores will be stable focused and satellite ETFs will be income focused. So I will be reinvesting the weekly or monthly dividends depending on the funds that I am invested to at the time through manually dripping. So instead of having automatic drip set up, I will stack the dividends to purchase when the market is down. And drip plus always compounding is the overall portfolio growth strategy. So basically, I will be rinse and repeating this until my account hits $1,000 a month in dividend income. Now, again, disclaimer, none of this is financial advice. This is for entertainment purposes only. I am some random dude on the internet. This is just me documenting my journey, inviting you guys along. And yeah, you guys get to see whether I succeed or I fail. I have people who love what I'm doing and I have people who don't love at all what I'm doing. And regardless, I hope you guys are entertained. Now, real quick, I did want to dive into my dividend income milestones while I grow my small portfolio. This is so I can celebrate the small wins leading up to the bigger goal along the way. So as of this month, we have successfully achieved the first and second goal only, and that is after I've already reset my portfolio. So the next month will be more telling of what our new portfolio income milestone would have been achieved. I think we're probably not even going to achieve the first goal of $100 a month, but we shall see. These are all the milestones leading up to the big goal. So you guys can pause this if you want to check that out. Now, diving into the portfolio on Robinhood, we are currently sitting at $5,643.20. And we have about $11,222.51 in buying power. My cash is currently $3,599.20. And then I have a margin available balance, if ever I decide to use it, of $7,623.31. So I just wanted to be transparent and share that with you guys. But now let's dive into each position. First up, we have KQQQ over from Curve. It's currently sitting at $28.81 a share. My market value is $489.77. I am up $6.50 or 1.35%. My average cost per share is $28.43. I have 17 shares with a portfolio diversity on Robinhood of 23.96% and a maintenance ratio of 25%. Next is Chippy. It's currently sitting at $55.69 a share. My market value is $389.83. I am up $11.05 or 2.92%. My average cost per share is $54.11. I have 7 shares with a portfolio diversity of 19.06% and a maintenance ratio of 25%. And because we held 7 shares, we got paid 43 cents a share, and that totaled to $3.08 in dividends distributed. So very happy about that, and I will cover a little bit more about my distributions or dividends for this month a little bit once we hop into the dividend sheet. Next, we have BLOX. It's currently sitting at $19.86 a share. My market value is $278.04. I am up $19.64 or 7.60%. My average cost per share is $18.46. I have 14 shares with a portfolio diversity of 13.60% and a maintenance ratio of 25%. So I'm a little bit bummed I wasn't able to acquire more of this, but this was such a steal of a price. I may possibly buy some more because it is still within a relatively okay threshold, and I'll just share with you guys quickly what I mean by that. So if you take a look, it's still pretty down here. Meanwhile, the all-time high was sitting around $27.56, but who knows, I may just follow my rules and stick to everything that I've been doing and just not acquire more unless it drops below my average cost per share. That may be sometime soon, that may be sometime never, or so distant into the future that it no longer matters, but we'll see. Next, we have NVDW. It's currently sitting at $42.35 a share. My market value is $254.10. I am up $3.03 or 1.21%. My average cost per share is $41.85. I have 6 shares with a portfolio diversity of 12.42% and a maintenance ratio of 30%. Next, we have QDTE. It's currently sitting at $34.90 a share. My market value is $244.30. I am up $5.80 or 2.43%. My average cost per share is $34.07. I have 7 shares with a portfolio diversity of 11.95% and a maintenance ratio of 25%. And looks like we actually got paid a dividend, which I didn't even notice. But because we held 7 shares, they paid out 23 cents a share, so that equals $1.64. So I'll add that later to the dividend sheet. Next, we have GOOW. It's currently sitting at $77.26 a share. My market value is $154.52. I am up $11.92 or 8.36%. My average cost per share is $71.30. I have 2 shares with a portfolio diversity of 7.56% and a maintenance ratio of 30%. Next, we have HOOW. It's currently sitting at $60.71 a share. My market value is $121.42. I am up $23.20 or 23.62%. My average cost per share is $49.11. I have 2 shares with a portfolio diversity of 5.94% and a maintenance ratio of 30%. And then last but definitely not least, we have PLTW. It's currently sitting at $37.70 a share. My market value is $113.10. I am up $8.85 or 8.49%. And my average cost per share is $34.75. I have 3 shares with a portfolio diversity of 5.53% and a maintenance ratio of 40%. So overall, the portfolio is in the green, which we like to see. Now let's dive into the dividend sheet. So let me zoom in for you guys here, but as you can see, everything is actually in the green. That's including NVDW. Unfortunately, once it hits around 4 p.m. Eastern time, this sheet no longer pulls any of the data until the next market open. So pre-market, after hours don't get counted. So let's dive into the total return first, and then we'll hop into the market return next. So we are up 1.82% for BLOX, 8.90% for HOW, negative 0.33% for NVDW, 5.91% for PLTW, 9.09% for GOOW, 2.82% for Chippy, 2.06% for QDTE, and 1.66% for KQQQ. Now for market return, we are up 1.57% for BLOX, 7.78% for HOW, negative 0.76% for NVDW, 4.86% for PLTW, 8.57% for GOOW, 1.87% for Chippy, 1.73% for QDTE, and 0.77% for KQQQ. So overall, we are looking pretty good on that front. And if you guys haven't noticed, I did add this last time I filmed a video. I talked about this, but I added a taxes tab because a lot of people were telling me before, oh, are you counting for taxes in your total return? Well, now I am. And you could also see my total dividends here, my cost basis, my market value, how much I'm sitting on in cash, and so much more. But we're not going to get into much details to that. So let's hop over into the dividend sheet next. Now, I do need to update my QDTE position. So we got $1.64 a share, but I'm going to copy this here. We're going to go into the dividend sheet. Let's add QDTE. Add this in, and let's dive right in here. We held, I believe, 7 shares of this. Yep, that's correct. So 7 shares. Let's fix this number. And then fix this as well. And just to confirm this all adds up, yep, $1.64. So we actually need to add this to the top. But just for your guys' sake, we are at $17.53 in dividends paid out this week. So not too bad. I'm actually pretty impressed considering I wasn't able to invest all of my cash just yet. I am personally hoping for another dip so I have an opportunity to buy up more of my favorites like HOW, NVDW. I definitely want to buy more of GOOW, but I don't think I will have an opportunity to do that. And I obviously want to acquire more Chippy, more QDT, and more KQQQ, as well as some more blocks. So ultimately, I would love to get more of my positions currently, but we'll see what happens. Hopping over here, we do need to add the new distribution that we got. So we got 1.64 plus 112. So let's hop over into the handy dandy calculator. We got 1.12 plus, and again, let me dive down, 1.64. So we are sitting at $2.76 paid out for QDTE this month. And again, I've only held it really since last week and this week. So that's the reason why it's so small. It should be a little bit more. We shall see. And I know ultimately because I have so little cash invested and so little cash in my portfolio, I probably should limit my positions more to that 3 range, but it's really tough to do. There's a lot of positions that I'm personally interested in, and I do really like the income. So I'm also testing things out. I'm going to see which one is worth holding a little bit more long term. So for the month of November, we were able to get $273.81 in dividends paid. That's super awesome to see. So I'm really happy about that. But unfortunately, that is not at all going to be what we get paid out next month. And you will see why. But it's pretty much because I reset my portfolio. I sold a lot of my main positions. If we actually dive over here, I used to only hold 3 positions. I only held HOW, NVDW, and WPay. Those were paying out pretty good. I did have 50 shares of HOW, 36 shares of NVDW, and 120 shares of WPay. Now, if I could do this all over again, I would have loved to still have been holding 50 shares of HOW, and probably not as much in NVDW, but maybe in GOOW, I would love to get around a $36 or 36 share range. So anyways, that's just me talking, but it is what it is. And then, yeah, I'm $726.19 away from achieving my goal of $1,000 in dividends this month. Now, real quick, I did want to hop into my allocation sheet, and I'm not going to be covering how much of a gap I have in my target allocations, but I did want to quickly share my target shares for each of these positions and how far away I am from that. So starting off with blocks, we are 16 shares away from my goal for shares. We are 8 shares away for HOW. We are 6 shares away for NVDW. We are 12 shares away for PLTW. We are 10 shares away for GOOW. We are 24 shares away for Chippy. We are 25 shares away for QDTE. And we are 2 shares away for KQQQ. And then just for some extra data, I did just recently create this monthly data tab. I kind of replicated or duplicated what I had previously on my old sheet. But basically for this month, I've contributed $2,056 into this portfolio. And I have, like I mentioned, received $273.81 in dividend income. So the total amount invested this month, which is technically not true because I haven't been investing those last 2 weeks of distributions. But let's just say for sake of everything, this is $2,329.81 into the portfolio. Now, real quick, I did want to dive into my snowball analytics. So this is what it says. I am down 13.8% according to this. Now, this includes my old position, which I did sell at a loss. My IRR is currently at a negative 65.27%. But if we take a look here, for passive income, we are at 31.58%, which is actually looking good. We are on track for achieving our 30% high yield annual goal. So I'm really excited about that. And if we take a look here, I do have my goal set to that $1,000 a month goal, which is $12,000 annually in dividends. It will take me about 3 years to achieve that goal, but I would love to see this kind of get dramatically decreased over time. Now, hopping into X, if you guys aren't following me already, I usually post my buys, my sells, any live updates I have for my portfolio, for the markets, my opinions, my speculations, and occasionally, very, very rarely, some memes, as well as updates for when I post a new video. But you guys, if you guys can follow me on X, that would be much appreciated. My goal for this month has been to achieve 100 followers. I currently am at 52 followers. Not sure how close we can get to it, but there's still a few days left. So if you guys could support the X account, that would be much appreciated. Follow me at I'm Nomad Investor. Again, that's at I'm Nomad Investor. First, I wanted to hop into Roundhill's weekly pay ETF distribution announcement. It's saying that these are the distributions for the month of, or for the first week of December. So it's going to be paying the 2nd of December. So we take a look here. AMDW, wow, I'm actually very surprised by this, but considering it's been taking quite a hit, it's only going to be distributing 26 cents a share. Let's look at some of the other ones that I hold. GOW, wow, that is beautiful. It's going to be paying out 72 cents a share. Well deserved, because GOW has been on a tear lately. HOW is going to be paying out 52 cents a share. Excited to see, let's see what else we have. NVDW is at 34 cents a share. PLTW is at 32 cents a share. So those are the ones that I care about the most. And taking a look at GDXW, it's going to be the highest payer for that fund, and it's going to be 40, or for the commodities or the macro weekly pay ETFs as they classified at, and that's 42 cents a share. And then what's interesting is you have TSYW, and that's going to be paying out 16 cents a share. And that's the Round Hill Treasury Bond Weekly Pay ETF. Now, moving on, we have a post from Beat the Bots. He says, 10 income ETFs with a positive share price percentage year to date plus latest yields. GOOW for the win. It's up 50.60% or 49.48% yield. For Chippy, it's in second place at 21.99% or 41.73% yield. What's interesting is LLII is next. It's up 17.95% in price percentage, and that was also equivalent to 41.94% yield. So you guys can read the rest. These are all pretty interesting. All 10 have a positive price share percentage year to date and are still delivering strong yields. So if I open this up a bit, you guys can take a deeper dive into how this chart looks. And yeah, very impressed. Obviously, AMDU has taken the biggest beating. It was up about 80% at some point, but then it really dropped down. So yeah, this is really interesting to see. Next, we have a post from High Yield Hustle. It says, BLOX launched with Bitcoin at $104,000. Currently, Bitcoin sits right around 90K. Due to a mix of holdings and great management, BLOX is beating the S&P 500 despite the Bitcoin correction. So you can see this chart pattern here that we have for total return percentage. Now, this is from June 17, 2025 to November 26. But as you can see, BLOX is sitting at 18.31% in total return percentage, and SPY, the S&P 500, is only 13.42%. So not bad. Overall, pretty impressed considering it did have quite a swing, but I am very happy that I got into this position quite literally near the bottom. Next, we have another one from High Yield Hustle. It says, income through growth trends. For AI, GPTY, and MAGI, so it shows the dividend yield that you can roughly expect. So it's 35% for GPTY and 34% for MAGI. Semiconductors, Chippy and Soxy. So Chippy is sitting around 40% dividend yield and Soxy at 12% dividend yield. And then last, for Bitcoin, we have BLOX and BTCI. So BTCI is sitting at 28% dividend yield and BLOX is sitting at 36% dividend yield. So that's pretty cool to see because I actually have BLOX and Chippy. I do not hold MAGI, although I have considered it at one point in time, but I don't think at this time it makes sense for me to acquire it. So I'm just going to be straying away, but this is interesting for any who are interested in these three trends. So AI, semiconductors, and crypto or Bitcoin. Last, I felt like sharing this because the Kabisi letter, which is something that I follow pretty closely, released this. It said, as of yesterday at 6:54 p.m. Eastern time, it says, breaking. President Trump says he is looking at completely cutting income taxes in the U.S. because of tariff proceeds. So that'll be very interesting. I'm not sure if this will actually come about or happen, but it's very interesting nonetheless. And I'm very curious, what do you guys think? How do you think this would impact the markets? I would expect that if this actually applied this year, which I highly doubt in the first place, but if it did, most people would probably be receiving quite a bit in tax returns, right? But other than that, I don't know what the implications of doing this would play in terms of the stock market, but I'm curious to hear your guys' thoughts. Now, hopping into Yahoo Finance, I really want to cover primarily the CME group and the headline regarding this. So it says, Flying Dark, CME futures outage hits trading worldwide. So for those of you who aren't aware, the S&P 500, the Dow, and NASDAQ futures were frozen in the glitch-fueled halt that disrupted U.S. Treasuries to WTI crude. Now, basically, over a high-level view, and I'm really simplifying it here, what ended up happening is it was a silicon chip issue. Apparently, it got fried for whatever the reason may be, maybe an overload or oversurge of power. But basically, that is what caused the futures to be put at a halt, which is a very, very big thing. And I don't know quite what the implications will be as of right now. But yeah, as you can see here, for the futures, the S&P is up 0.10%. The Dow is up 0.11%. The NASDAQ is up 0.18%. The Russell is up 0.13%. The VIX is up 1.57%. It's currently sitting at 17.48. And then gold is up 0.45%. So overall, I would say we probably might expect a green day. However, I'm not sure the implications of what went down with the CME group and how it's going to impact investor sentiment overall. So we may possibly see a dip just because of this. However, I'm pretty impressed that things are currently in the green pre-market. So we'll see in an hour when the market opens and then kind of go from there. Obviously, yesterday, people were not able to do any trading, except if you're investing in crypto, of course, because it was the holidays. By the way, happy Thanksgiving or happy Turkey Day, depending on what you celebrate. To all of you, I know I didn't post a video for obvious reasons. There's really nothing to cover. And if we take a look here, it also says CME starts to reopen trading, but U.S. futures stay marooned. So that, and the last headline I wanted to cover is AI data centers. Massive demand is crushing U.S. aluminum. So that's really interesting to see. Anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed today's portfolio update, as well as the news that I shared and giving you guys a rough idea of where my head's at, where the markets are at, and etc. But if you guys haven't already and you're new here, make sure to smash that subscribe button. It helps keep me motivated to continue making these videos, as well as documenting my journey. And most importantly for everyone else, if you haven't already, smash that like button. It helps with the YouTube algorithm and for further growing this channel. So if you guys have any comments, questions, suggestions, feedback, or anything, comment them down below. I read just about every single comment that you guys post down below. And yeah, until next time, guys, peace.